Welcome back to day 6 of the countdown to Cheltenham. Handicap entries are out today, so keep a look out for some handicap videos in the coming days and weeks. Today I'm going to be previewing the Brown Advisory Novice Chase, run over 3 miles. It looks like I've got a little helper with me today, haven't I? Brown Advisory Novice Chase, last 5 winners have been Factorfile, The Real Whacker, L'Homme Presse, Monkfish and Champ. And the trainers of those horses have been Willie Mullins, Patrick Neville, Venetia Williams, Willie Mullins again, and Nicky Henderson. The ideal type for this race is aged between 6 and 8, as you can see, all but one going back to 2006 were in this age range. Rated higher than 150, as you can see, nearly all. You have to go all the way back to 2014 to find a horse that was rated lower than 150 that won this. Between 2 and 5 runs a season, most horses will automatically fall in that band. And their last race you'd want to have been ran over 2 mile, 4 or 3 miles between those two distances. So not dropping back too much in trip and not jumping up too much in trip either. The race has been ran on good to soft or soft, mainly soft for the last 5 years. 6 out of the last 7 years ran on soft, the other one good soft. Looking at the betting for this race, it doesn't look like it's going to be the strongest race. Ballyburn, the current 7-4 favourite, may scare some away. Not quite sure why. Dancing City, again for Willie Mullins, the second favourite at 10-3. Much more of a old school fashioned style chaser, ones that used to win this. Better Days Ahead at 10-1, Croke Park at 10-1, both for Gordon Elliott. So we've got 2 Willie Mullins, 2 Gordon Elliott at the top of the market. And Lecky Watson for Willie Mullins at 14-1, and Stellar Story for Gordon Elliott at 14-1. So there's your top 6, 3 for Mullins, 3 from Elliott. Let's have a look. Starting off with the current favourite, Ballyburn. I was never convinced about him going chasing. Very low head carriage. Always thought they might have a mistake in him. I think it was to be expected that he may not be quite as electric over fences as he was over hurdles. So that run earlier in the season over 2 miles kind of makes a lot more sense now. Since then, obviously, losing to Sergino, he did step up to the 3 miles that this race is run over and beat Croke Park by 5 lengths at the Dublin Racing Festival. That was only 2 mile, 5.5 furlongs, and he is going to need a lot of stamina to obviously jump well and win this Brown Advisory. I mean, no doubt he is very classy, but I just think something might be able to stay a little better than him. As I mentioned before, I did think that he was a better hurdler, and I did back him for the stairs on the Champion Hurdle this year. Yeah, maybe I've still a little bit of pocket talk there, having not backed him for any chases. But yeah, it is a long-standing thought that I just not as convinced as him as a chaser as I am with him as a hurdler. Last year I thought there was nothing he could do wrong. One of the better novice hurdlers I'd seen. This year, just failed to impress at 2 mile and 2 mile 3. I ran a 2 mile, 5.5 furlongs last time, was a lot better, step in the right direction. But maybe he'll just find one that's a little bit too good. Soft ground, 3 miles, bit of a test. I think we can get him beat. If recent history is anything to go by and the race is ran on soft ground, then Dancing City would be my number 1 selection for this race. Got better with every run last year, really came into his own in the spring, 3rd in the Cheltenham Festival, won his grade 1 at Aintree over the 3 miles, and then won another Novice Hurdle grade 1 at the Punchestown Festival in May. Yeah, just consistently hit 151 RPRs. I think he's only had the two chases so far this season, but he certainly improved a good bit after his first run. Went up and trip, tackled a bit of heavy ground, and beat a really good mare in Bioluminescence, who I think, if it's soft ground on Friday, will go off the favourite for the mare's chase and will win that race. Really solid form, unbeaten chaser, unbeaten in four starts going back to last season. Came into his own kind of after Dublin Racing Festival last year, with just 1/3 being at Cheltenham. Yeah, he's really solid. Like I mentioned, he's going to be the more old-fashioned style chaser in this race. Likes a bit of heavy ground, big strapping individual. Um, Unfortunately, it's not going to be Paul's ride, but Danny did ride him at the Dublin Racing Festival last year and won over hurdles. He did ride him again at Cheltenham and came third. Yeah, as long as Danny's on board, I think Dancing City's got every chance. As I'd said, though, we do want soft or heavy ground for this. So won't be getting involved before the race. This will be kind of assess what the ground's looking like after the first day and then maybe get involved from that. Ballyburn's going to stay pretty solid at the top of the market. But yeah, Dancing City is going to be the one for me in the Brown Advisory. The one Gordon Elliott horse that I'd like to take a look at in this race is definitely Better Days Ahead. If the ground was to come up good, soft or good, I think I would want to add him to the shortlist. I think 3 mile on good ground might just be his optimal conditions. He was an impressive winner on heavy ground of the Martin Pipe last year, beating Waterford Whispers. Usually pipe winners tend to be pretty good, tend to be able to handle further, and he's shown that so far this year. He's stepped up 2-3 miles to face Dancing City at the Punchestown Festival last year and was beaten by Dancing City. That was on good ground, so maybe the ground kind of thing isn't massive, but at the same time, I think Better Days Ahead might have just improved a little bit for chasing as well. He took his first chase over 2.5 miles, beating last year's Supreme winner Slade Steele. Now that form doesn't look great because the form of the Supreme from last year hasn't worked out. But then he won and was just beaten ahead by Croke Park at his first try over 3 miles. That was on good ground over Christmas. And then recently ran in the 10 up at Navan over 3 miles on heavy ground. Now you'd probably would have wanted him to do that a little bit easier, 1-2 favourite against a stablemate. But Stella Story did win the Albert Bartlett last year, and he was the runner-up in this race. So yeah, I think spring ground might just seem to a little bit better effect, and I think he is similar mould as Dancing City, kind of old style strapping chaser who could pick up the pieces. I think he's still like a double figure price. So this is the way I'm going to play the race, depending on the ground. I think soft or anything with soft and or heavy, Dancing City is going to be my main selection. I think if we lose that soft or heavy ground and it goes good to soft, I will play Better Days Ahead each way. Just like that Cheltenham form from last year, I think Martin Pipe winners often go on to have quite nice careers. Croke Park looks to be the second string for Gordon Elliott. He's not done a lot wrong really this year, winning 3 times and just coming second to Ballyburn at the Dublin Racing Festival. Obviously has that win over Better Days Ahead, but he had 2 runs and already tried 3 miles before that. He's got some good form. I think it'd be hard to see him out the top 4 in a race like this. I think he's kind of got all the tools. But being beat 5 lengths by Ballyburn, I know it is over 2 mile 5 furlongs, but that might have just kind of exposed some weaknesses already. I'm not too keen on reopposing Ballyburn off level weights again with 5 lengths to find out. I know the extra distance might be the key there, but I think I'd prefer Better Days Ahead. I think Better Days Ahead is quite a bit better than those than the others that run over that trip at the yard. So That's the way I'd be going for the Brown Advisory, Better Days Ahead and Dancing City high on the shortlist. William run Lecky Watson, but I'm just not sure he has the class to compete at this level. And Gordon's third runner will be Stella Story, possibly. Again, ran in that 10 up the other day, won the Albert Bartlett, wouldn't put anyone off him at a slightly bigger price. But yeah, just hoping that the yard are kind of right with this praise of Better Days Ahead, shall we say. So just to wrap up, I will be taking on Ballyburn in the Brown Advisory Chase this year, and it will be with either Dancing City or Better Days Ahead. Just waiting for the ground, so keep a lookout closer to the time for final selections. Nice one.